Don't adjust those dials, people. Wednesday, I believe, but days are kind of mixed up in my head. September 19th, and I am back after a week of not doing anything really in the entire DFS scape. I am diving right back into baseball, and I'm joined by my normal partner in the morning. Jake, what's going on, man?
Not much. Been losing some money the last couple days, but last week was good. Took down the mini max once again.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah. I didn't tell you that off stream.
I don't think so. Wait, when?
It was like maybe a week ago. Yeah, it was like right after you left. I think.
I was really out of pocket Wednesday and Thursday. So
yeah,
well,
I think
congrats,
it was one
man. Now I'm super jealous. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then
I think somebody in the Slack chat got it last night.
Yeah. G Funkera, maybe.
I just remember I remember seeing the screenshot. I don't remember who posted it. Still trying to get my bearings.
Yeah, and then preseason NHL, DK roll out some contests. So I've been doing that the last 2 days.
How's that going?
One day I just did one lineup. Yesterday I maxed the $8, which is like 30 entries. I mean, I didn't win either night, but got basically everything back last night, so that was fine.
Well, there you go. And Makad popped the mini max, I think, right before I left. So yeah. Tons of people popping it lately.
For sure.
I realize I got to pop the chat back out. So give me 1 second here, and then we can get started. I have plenty of hot takes for baseball right now, as you can imagine.
I bet.
Forgot it was still baseball season, to be perfectly honest.
It's we're getting into the bad part of the season where
we are.
These guys are starting to get called up, and you just don't know how long pitchers are going to go, and it's just a lot of fun.
Just a blast. We don't have any ownership yet, correct? No.
I think that's correct.
All right, I'll keep that up for now. Thanks to everybody for kind words and such while I was gone. I am back. The house is essentially fine. Little bits of issues here or there, but nothing that keeps my house not livable. So out of the 150,000 people in Wilmington, I got out of it pretty much scot-free. I'll take it.
Yeah, always good to hear.
Yeah. There are other areas of North Carolina that are in some pretty big trouble. So those are people that need the thoughts now. But let's talk about something more fun. Let's talk about daily fantasy baseball. I'm ready to play. Like, I wish it were 7 o'clock now. I wish this was the live stream pre-lock. I just want to set my sights on something and think about something other than having to take my dog out to pee in the rain. Now I don't have to do that any longer. See, normally it's just we open the back door, they go out in the yard, they handle their stuff. Nope. We had a very small patch of grass outside the hotel, and that had to be the area. Otherwise, we had to go a little bit further up the road and like hop a guardrail to find some grass next to an interstate. It was just fantastic.
Was the hotel nice at least?
Yeah, very nice. The hotel was great, super accommodating, no complaints. So if you're ever in Asheville, the Hotel Indigo, highly recommended. Walking distance of multiple breweries, just in case you're curious.
There we go.
Yeah, it was a good time. Enough about me, enough about being gone for a week. It's baseball time. Let's do this. Blue Jays and Orioles. Blue Jays, 4.4 run implied total, I believe. A couple games that didn't have lines. Let me make sure that this one does. Nope, this one's totally made up. Yeah, great. Going 4.1 for the Orioles. That sounds about right. 8.5 run total for this game. Can't be too much more than that. Could be lower. Marco Estrada going for the Jays. Jimmy Yacobonis going for Baltimore, sort of. Not a spot where I'm looking for Yacobonis, but I think Marco Estrada's in a good spot here. If this line ends up being lower than 8.5, I'll like Estrada even more, but 4,800 against the Orioles, this is a really nice spot. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. Estrada's one of the guys I wrote up in the spotlight pitchers. I think there are a couple punts, but he's definitely one of them that I think I'm prioritizing. I think he might see lower ownership than Erlin and I actually like that the Orioles look like they're going to roll out majority lefties because Estrada's best pitch is his changeup. It's actually a pretty good changeup. And you've just got a lot of really bad hitters like Caleb Joseph, righty. Nunez will strike out. Mancini will strike out. The guys I'm scared of are like Jones and VR, and Chris Davis to some extent, but he's also a huge strikeout probability as well.
Yeah, really.
So I think it sets up pretty well for Estrada. If he can avoid the early blow up, he's probably going to get you to double digits pretty easily here because he can go 100 pitches.
Yeah, I'm going to happily have a bunch of Estrada. I do have some Robbie Erlin right now, but we'll see where ownership comes in for that.
Yeah.
I do end up with a ton of Chris Davis, which makes me so sad every week, but I have to manually nerf him. 2,100 hitting 5th on FanDuel. It's so difficult to like dodge that. But
right.
I don't know. I haven't looked at his season numbers in a while. Did he ever majorly recover? Because he was so bad early.
He's been less bad, but he was a disaster for the first 2 months of the season. Like,
oh no, he's just bad in
worst
general.
Season type of bad.
171 average, 246 on base percentage, 302 slugging. Yeah, he's just broken, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fair to say that he's done, I think.
Yeah, wow. I'm gonna end up having very little of him. It's been a while since I did a deep dive. So what do you think about bats? Go ahead.
The process show, is that a thing today?
As far as I know, yeah, I am just straight back. So
I like that show.
It should be myself and Adam, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to do something. I feel like I haven't used my brain in a week, at least not for this. Been more like, hey, can we make sure that we have water? No, things that you don't normally have to think about.
Right.
What do you think about bats in this game just in general? I have a ton of the Orioles and a ton of the Jays. Most popular stack on both sites because of how cheap they are. They go really well if you're trying to jam in as much Carlos Carrasco as I am. So are you looking to bats here?
I really like the Blue Jays. I mean, Yacobonis is not really someone I'm worried about stacking against. And then the Orioles bullpen. So, and you've got power on this Blue Jays side. I think they're possibly going to have Smoke back in this lineup. He's been sitting for a few days for whatever reason. I think he just got benched. Solarte back in for 3,600. You could play him at second or third. This guy Roddy Tellez has got some power for sure. Hard hit percentage way up there.
Do you see what Roddy Tellez looks like?
Yeah. What show was that when they were talking about that?
I think it was the deeper dive. I think it was Adam and Laffy going.
Laffy brought it up. That's right.
Yeah, because I just popped in like, yo, his head is huge.
And then like all these guys are around 4K or under. So it's besides Grichuk, and I have no issue paying $4,900 for Grichuk in a stack. So yeah, I don't think you're gonna need like a really, really cheap stack. You may just need a couple cheap bats to fit in Carrasco. Because Carrasco's underpriced, and you've got a $4,800 punt, you've got a 5K punt in Erlin. So I don't know that they're like my top stack, but I definitely will have Blue Jays. And then if we're wrong on Estrada's ownership, or if I'm wrong and he's going to be higher owned than Erlin, I think it makes sense to stack against him because he is volatile and he's gone negative, I think 2 out of his last 3 starts. So it's not like, 2 or 3 out of 4, actually. Wow.
That's not bad.
Don't click on the game log button, people, if you're looking to play Estrada. You won't like what you see, but got to look past that sometimes.
All right, time to click on the game log just so I can see it.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, my God. Well, I can see why he's 4,800. Negative 12, negative 7, negative 8.
I mean, I think this game has the possibility to be kind of an inflection point. So I like maybe going overweight on both sides. Like Because if Estrada balls out and he gets you 18 or 20, you may need him in your lineup, especially if Carrasco does something big. And if he blows up, there's going to be people on Estrada for sure.
Yeah.
Then you have a pretty good leverage play on a 10-game slate in the Orioles.
Yeah, I like the top parts of both of these lineups. McKinney, Gurriel, Morales, Grichuk, Solarte. Happy to have those 5 guys in any real combination that you want. And then similarly, the top part of the Orioles lineup, Mullins, VR, Jones, Mancini. I'm going to talk myself out of high levels of Chris Davis. Just, I thought he rebounded more than that. Not exactly someone I paid that much attention to, but he is just terrible. Putting up a stat line that I think that I could have put up in baseball. I could hit 170. I can't hit 170. I'm lying.
He's just really bad. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he just does not offer much besides an occasional home run or single that bounces off the wall.
What's his contract? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, he makes $23 million a year for the next 4 years.
And they have to keep. You have to keep playing him, or
Do you?
I mean, I don't know what else you're gonna do. You're gonna eat that contract. They're basically all guaranteed, right?
Yeah, it's so ridiculously bad. He'll be paid $17 million annually throughout the length of the contract, then $3.5 million from 2013 to 2032, and then $1.4 million from 2033 to 2037. They're paying Chris Davis until 2037.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that?
37. They'll be paying Chris Davis until I'm 53 years old.
That's that's not a normal contract. I've never heard of that.
They do like extended bonus payments out into the future. Like sort of, I don't want to say regularly because that wouldn't be the right way to say it, but like that's not totally crazy.
I know, like, yeah,
that's not the type of contract I would have been signing Chris Davis to 2 years ago, but like that's the type of thing that like high end guys would get.
What are they thinking? I mean,
like there was something along these lines for A-Rod when he was retiring where he had like extended payments out, but that's a very different scenario than Chris Davis. Oh my God, that's so much money.
He was a once in a generation player, and his game is going to age better than Chris Davis. I mean, he struck out a ton before. I mean, he's always going to strike out a ton. And once you start losing your power, you're useless. I mean, he has no speed. He can't field.
I mean, he signed that deal after like a not even that good year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so much money. Good luck, Baltimore.
Any interest in Yacobonis?
Like, he can't, right? He won't go deep enough.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of point that out. Like, I mean, I think he's probably limited to pitches at most. And I don't really think it's necessary to go there. He's not a strikeout guy anyways. I mean, he can strike guys out. It's not like he's terrible and can't miss any bats, but I just don't really think it's necessary when there's a guy right on the other side, or there's a guy in Erlin, or there's also another guy in Phil Meyer, or whoever you want to choose in this range that you can get to for the same price. And those guys, Anderson, they can all throw closer to 100 pitches.
Yeah, I agree. I would much rather just ignore him and pick and choose some bats here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Red Sox and Yanks. Red Sox 4.3 run implied total. Yanks 4.7. I think I made this one up too.
I think
I did. No line on Price Severino. That's kind of crazy. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I went with a 9-run implied total. That seemed pretty feasible. Couldn't see it going much lower than that. Otherwise, the Red Sox would be putting up a run total that doesn't seem correct for them. Anyway, the 55% chance to win for the Yanks. David Price, as mentioned, going for Boston. Luis Severino going for the Yankees. Man, this is a really tough spot. Like, in a way, I like both guys. I certainly don't like David Price at 10-3, though. I find that price point to be almost impossible to play. Severino at 9,900. I'd love to play him. I just don't know how to justify it. Can you get to any of these guys with like any sort of confidence?
It's just really hard for me to, with Carrasco sitting right there for a little bit more. And I know I'm going to be able to afford Carrasco.
Yeah.
Price has been awesome, actually. I don't know about his last start, but I know leading up, last start too. Oh, that's right. He had the 30-point outing against Toronto. We just got ownership, by the way. And then, like, he had a really good start against the Astros, struggled against Miami, but whatever. Everyone's got a bad start once in a while. Was really good against Cleveland and Tampa Bay in the 2 starts before that. So 4 out of his last 5 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings with 7 strikeouts. And the swinging strike stuff is up, but he's going to get basically the worst matchup possible. A bunch of power righties. It's just like he can strike them out, but I just don't see how he survives a couple times through this order. So I'm more inclined to take guys like Aaron Hicks and Stanton. Judge is supposed to be back. Is that right?
I thought he was back yesterday, actually. So then yes.
I completely – well, that game wasn't on the slate, so I'm excused from missing that one. But, yeah, I mean, McCutchen, too, leading off. Not the biggest power guy, but I just don't see any, like, really good matchups. Gregorius can hit lefties, and he doesn't really strike out that much. So,
yeah, Judge played yesterday.
Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah, it'll be he's someone that we should kind of monitor these next couple of days to see. He's someone we should check on the exit velocity for once he starts putting balls in play.
Have you seen the ownership?
What was it?
Have you seen all the ownership?
No. Let me refresh it.
We were right about the 3 of these names. That's for sure. Carrasco, kind of healthy ownership today.
Yeah. Whoa, I see some Yankees bats are, well, McCutchen, Sanchez.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like those 2 guys at over 20%, but in a stack, I think I could get to the Yankees more than the Red Sox. What about you?
Yeah, I would prefer to have the Yankees than the Red Sox. Especially if Stanton is 3% owned on DK, I'll happily have a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I think I can comfortably get there. I would rather have the Yanks than the Red Sox, but I'm not really clamoring for too much here. A Yankee-specific stack, McCutchen, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, I think is really easy to get to. If you would swap out Hicks for one of those guys if you want, save some more money. I do like that section of it all, but other than that, I'd want to have parts of these teams, but no sort of volume.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to be at too. Are you going to have either pitcher in any?
I'll probably have a couple lines of Severino, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'll have either side. It's just tough to take off 2 of the best pitchers on the slate when you already don't have a ton of options. So I may just go all in on Carrasco. That's kind of what it's looking like right now, or close to all in. But yeah, I'd like to get exposure to one of these 2 guys. I just don't know who it would be at this point. I'd probably lean toward Severino.
Yeah, I think Carrasco is going to be just good chalk.
Yeah.
It's incredible matchup, best spot, very little to worry about. He should cruise, so I like being there. I think I'll flip-flop that ownership, though, and try to get away from a little bit more of that Robbie Erlin, 37%. And then Chris Archer, whatever decision I make will be the wrong one. I can't get that dude right.
I mean, he's been okay. It's just, well, are we moving on to that game now?
What's your favorite bat in this Red Sox-Yankees game? Either side.
Stanton.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Especially at 3% expected ownership.
Yeah.
Tough spot. Yeah. Let's hop over to Royals and Pirates. I'm missing a bat in here, but we'll figure that out. Royals 3.2 run implied total. Pirates 4.7 It's a 67% chance to win for the Pirates. Heath Fillmyer going for Kansas City. Chris Archer going for Pittsburgh. Archer projected 46% ownership on DK. Insane. I also got 45% on my first crunch, so I get it. There's just not anyone else around his price in any real direction where you can feel confident and like where that guy will have the same sort of ceiling as Archer. Problem is, you never know what you're getting with him. So what do you think about Archer, and what do you think about him at 46%?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I like him in a vacuum, but if he's going to be in almost half the lineups, which I think is going to be the case, I mean, I'm sure some of that ownership will get passed on to like Keuchel, maybe some people play Felix Pena, and maybe some Tyler Anderson, but I won't have 45% if he's going to be 45%. If he's going to be 25%, maybe I would get to 45, but no, I don't think I need to match the field on Archer. I mean, he hasn't really flashed a ton of upside, even though I understand he's got a pretty good chance at 20 plus DK points, which you'd be thrilled with. It's a good matchup against the Royals. I need to see how he has been at holding runners. That's something I need to look at against the Royals from now on, every single start. Because, the Minimax night that I bigged, it was Merrifield and Mondesi. They were just in a really good stolen base matchup. They combined for 3 stolen bases, and those are my 2-man. I had a bunch of them in 2-mans, and then my 5-man stack obviously went off. So they just have so much speed, and they just steal on anyone. So let's see, Archer. You check for stolen bases. Where do you check for stolen bases? Like, is there a quicker way than going to Baseball Reference?
I would have just went to Fangraphs or something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, are you going to stick with 45% Archer, or what are you doing there?
God, like Felix Pena at 8,000 is just, you're 6,000. I know that's a stupid thing to say. If this guy was cheaper, I'd play him more. No, I would rather get more exposure to Keuchel or try to load up more on, I don't know, maybe Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
45, I don't want to fade him entirely. It's too good of a spot and too good of a price point. But to come in at 46%, I think will be tricky. I'm guessing I'll end up around half of that.
Yeah, I don't think you have to fully fade him. If you go with 25% Archer, you can disperse that extra 20% exposure and get over the field on like both Gio and whatever, Pena, if that's a guy, or Keuchel. So yeah. I think it just makes sense to go underweight on a volatile guy that everyone wants to play. Not everyone wants to play. Everyone's playing out of necessity to play someone in that range, and he happens to have the best matchup.
He's just been he hasn't had a 20-point fantasy day since July 22nd.
Exactly. So, like, is he going to do it at chalk here? It seems like that never works out. But
is this the best matchup he's had in a while? Had a lot of Milwaukee. I mean, 4 out of his last 5 starts are Braves and Brewers.
That's not great.
No, and the 5th start in that is the Marlins, who aren't like a great GPP strikeout matchup.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe he just needs a good matchup. I mean, he's given up 9 stolen bases, 12 attempts, so he's decent at holding runners, I think. Let's see if he's faced Kansas City at all this year, though. He has not faced Kansas City.
So. I really hate the late season interleague play bullshit.
Why is that?
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of interleague play. I'm a baseball purist.
Why wouldn't you want to play everyone?
Well, I'd be fine if it was just like a fully balanced 29-game schedule, but it's still shifted towards like stupid regional games. It either needs to be one or the other.
Sure.
For me.
That's fair. If there wasn't interleague play, though, then I couldn't watch my Cubs play at Target Field and smoke the Twins every time.
You got to hold out for 100 years and hope they play each other in the World Series. Good old days.
That's going to happen. Yeah.
The good old days. So bats in this game, since we both assume that we like Archer, at least in some way, and we would want to see his ownership come down at best. What do you think about Pirates bats? Because they're a team that I'm over the field on both sides.
Philmeyer really, really struggles with hard contact against righties, especially near 50%, 49.5% for the season. His xFIP isn't terrible. He does a decent job getting ground balls, so that's probably a lot to do with it. But he can't really strike righties out. And so I'm looking at guys like Cervelli, Starlin Marte. I think it's a really good spot for him as well.
Yeah.
And then Dickerson's too cheap. I think Colin Moran is too cheap, even if he's batting 7th for 3,700. So, yeah, I like the Pirates quite a bit. One of the highest run totals on the night. I think we've only got the Brewers and the Indians over 5.
I have the Astros at 5, but I could have also made that one up.
Yeah, I think you made that one up. So, yeah.
I would think that they're going to get to 5 at home against Seattle, but we'll see.
Probably. Yeah.
Either way, yeah. Pirates are my number 5 stack on both sides. I'm going to have quite a bit of them. Cervelli in particular looks really nice, hitting 4th, 3,900.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, I'll go all the way down. I'll even have a little bit of Kevin Newman on FanDuel if he's in the lineup. Just a cheap shortstop option as part of a Pirate stack because I want to have most of the Pirates.
All right.
Really that easy, I think. Not worried about Philmeyer. And I assume you don't want any Philmeyer?
He may be a guy leaving the player pool because I'm not going to get to whatever we have for Erlin. And that's going to come down on Erlin as people see Estrada and Philmeyer down there. But, yeah, I'm probably going to have very minimal amount of Philmeyer.
Last 4 starts for Philmeyer. 21, -10, 17, 18. Take a guess which one I went really heavy on.
-10?
Oh, he nailed it.
Yeah,
nailed it.
He's I mean, if he's gonna have no ownership, that's fine. I don't think he's the worst pitcher in the world, but let's see, what do we have him at right now?
No ownership.
He's gonna have no ownership, so it does make some sense as a pivot off of Erlin.
Yeah, I'd rather have Philmeyer than 37% Robbie Erlin, but
yeah, all day.
Crazy stuff. Any Royals bats for you here? Do you like having some on the opposite side of that ownership?
For sure. Merrifield, Mondesi, Gordon, Perez, and O'Hearn, I guess. You can get to a full stack. Yeah. This Royals lineup looks a lot better. And let's see if it still holds up. But I know they had been just clubbing righties for the better part of a month. So let's search versus righties over the last month. Third highest WRC plus over the last 30 days. 125, 220 ISO, 334 on base percentage. They're striking out a little bit more, but looks like they're getting more power. So they've been a lot better against righties. So maybe this isn't a perfect matchup for Archer. Speed power combo, not great actually.
Yeah, I do like the idea of getting some of that top portion of the lineup if Archer continues to maintain that ownership.
Sure.
Alrighty. To the best pitcher of the slate, White Sox and Indians. White Sox 3.1 run implied total. Indians 5.4. It's a 73% chance to win for the Indians. Dylan Covey going for Chicago. Carlos Carrasco going for Cleveland. Can't beat him here. Carrasco expected to be the chalk pitcher of the day. 56% expected ownership on DraftKings. I got to 48, which is my ownership cap. This is chalk that I'm going to happily eat. I don't really need to get much different here. White Sox bad. Tons of strikeouts in their lineup. Carrasco, very good. I think trying to get away from this ownership would be getting, way too cute. You don't necessarily have to go to 56%, but you're going to want to have a lot of shares of Carrasco here. He's the best play by a mile.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's just missing so many bats right now. 4 straight starts with at least a 16.8% swinging strike rate. I mean, he's racking up near double digits, like It's just double-digit Ks, that is. Even if he gives up a bunch of runs here, I still think the strikeouts will save him. And I think he's got easily the best chance of being the top raw point pitcher, and that's reflected in the ownership. So I think you just take the raw points, take your 25, 30, and differentiate elsewhere.
Completely agree. I've got him like 5 points clear of everybody else. It's just such massive, massive upside. 9.7 projected Ks, like 2.5 more Ks than anybody else. I want to have Carrasco here. It's too easy.
Yeah. Agreed.
And there's too much risk in like a Price Severino play to try to get different.
Yeah.
All right. So that was easy enough. Any White Sox bats that you would want to get today just to be on the opposite side of it?
Man. I think if you attack Carrasco, you probably want to do it with like more than just a one-off, because like I said, the strikeouts are going to be there. You need him to give up 5 or 6 earned runs.
Yeah.
So I'd want to get 3 to 5 bats on the other side and just hope for a blow up, because like if you get the solo shot off of Carrasco or the 2-run shot, he's still going to be able to make that up with strikeouts, and still probably like there's a good chance you're still going to need him in your lineups, and your leverage play won't matter. So I would attack him with like Moncada, Palka, Garcia, and Davidson, for example, and just hope that he blows up.
Yeah, I think that's all you can really do. I'll have one line of the Sox, maybe 2, but I'm very comfortable with Carrasco here. If you need a cash pitcher, this is very clearly the best cash pitcher on the slate.
Yeah. Don't overthink this one. And in tournaments too. I mean, this is good chalk, I think. Very, very good chalk. He's by far the best play. So.
Couldn't agree more. Indians bats. Number 3 stack for me on both sites. I am double the field. Love them, love them, love them. Love the top section. Love Roberto Perez on both sites. 2,100 only on FanDuel. I know he can't hit, but I like getting a part of the stack for the team with the highest implied total. So I want to get shares of everybody here. Anybody in particular standing out for you?
The top 3 always stand out, but it's just, I mean, take your pick here. Covey, not going to strike anyone out. I don't see how he survives this. Like, no. Indians will single you to death, and Covey doesn't give up like a ton of power, but he has been giving up a little bit more as of late. I don't expect him to be in the game very long. And then the nice thing about Lindor and Ramirez is they always have the platoon advantage because they're switch hitters and they crush from both sides. So it's such a good stack. 5.5 implied total is the highest on the night. They should dominate Covey here. I don't think he'll last very long.
Couldn't agree more. Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez, Encarnacion, Josh Donaldson. I'm in. I'm just in. I want a ton of Indians. Everything is coming up good.
Covey has allowed 9 stolen bases on 12 attempts. I mean, you can definitely run on him. The Indians had 2 steals against him in his start on June 18th. He started against them, and then he started against them again on August 12th. They had another steal there. So they know that they can steal on him. So that's good to see.
Load him up. Indians.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see if we can get Carrasco with an Indian stack that includes most of the good parts.
We write that down. We'll check it out in, I don't know, half hour. Yeah, good luck with that for me. I have no memory whatsoever. Mind is mush. Reds and Brewers. Reds, 3.8 run implied total. Brewers, 4.9. It's a 61% chance to win for the Brew Crew. Matt Harvey going for Cincinnati. Gio Gonzalez going for the... Oh, yeah, God. I forgot he went to the Brewers. See, like, that's... When did Gio go to the Brewers?
A couple weeks ago, maybe.
Like, I forgot. I don't think I've had him in anything since that's happened.
I think he started on the Saturday first. So, obviously, you're off Saturday, not playing. And yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I remember.
I forgot that it happened. I thought I had like a bug in here. Anyway, Gio going for the Brew Crew. I like Gio here a little bit. Only 4% expected ownership, but 3.8 run implied total for the Reds. You know, you get the lefty-lefty matchup on Schebler, the lefty-lefty matchup on Votto, same on Jeanette. Those are, you know, 3 of the 4 best hitters for the team. So I think maybe Gio is the spot where I want to give a lot more ownership instead of going to Archer. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, on the night shift, I said that I wasn't really ready to believe in Gio, but since coming over to Milwaukee, it's only 2 starts, but maybe you just needed a change of scenery. 15.7% swinging strike rate in his first start, 14.6 against the Pirates. And I didn't go super deep in either one, and you don't really need him to at 7,100. But the one guy I'm scared of is Suarez, and like, yeah, that's a really tough matchup. But as long as he can limit base runners elsewhere, like I think he has the advantage over Jeanette. I think it's pretty even against Votto. I think he's got the advantage over Schebler. He's been really good against lefties, even when he was bad this year. So it's righty power. And really it's Suarez that I'm worried about. So great bullpen behind him as well. If he can give me 5 innings with 5 or 6 strikeouts, I think you're doing a really good job for 7,100 as a pivot to Archer.
Yeah, I'm anxious to talk to Adam about this in the process show coming up next. You're getting so much of me today. It's insane. Because I think Gio is going to be a very natural place to go, especially if he's under 10% owned. Like right now, projected at 4%. I'd rather have 20 if it meant getting off of some of those Archer shares.
Sure.
It just all lines up really well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to allocate some of my Archer to Gio. So.
Alrighty. Yeah. I assume you like Brewers bats.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey's just always going to have problems with lefties, and you're seeing that even though he's been better against both hands since coming over to Cincinnati earlier in the season. But Yelich is just still on fire. You've got Shaw for 4,300 dual position eligibility. Moustakas at just 4,200. So those are 3 really good bats. And then I always am fine when I like the lefties. I'm always fine stacking up the righties and vice versa on this Brewers team. They just have such a deep lineup. I didn't even mention Granderson at the top. So 1 through 6, they're just so good. So I never really have an issue stacking them up. I think they're probably a top 3 or 4 stack for me.
Yeah, I'm over the field on both sites. I love it. I'll even go to Kratz on DK 2,900. No issues there. I'm getting 20+% ownership on Moustakas, 20+% on Travis Shaw. Very little ownership projected for Curtis Granderson right now. I like that. Although, 4,800 on DK. Curtis Granderson. What year is this? Makad said Shaw pulled out of the game last night.
He was 5,100 last night.
Granderson was?
Yeah.
Ooh. Shaw took one to the knee.
He's also a pinch hit risk, Shaw is. So maybe a good guy to leave off. Although I think that's a little bit overrated. I think I overrate that myself with guys like Jock. They're still probably going to get 3 at-bats against the starter, unless they completely wreck them, but then you probably already have points.
Yeah, then Shaw's probably already put one in the cheap seats.
Or did something, or had an RBI single or something. I don't think, for the most part, they're not going to kill you.
No.
So I need to mentally play more guys that have pinch hit risk. So
I think you're more likely to see a lefty come in to face like Granderson and Yelich at the top than one to just come in specifically to face Shaw in the middle.
Right. I mean, Granderson's probably a pinch hit risk as well.
I would say Granderson even more so than Shaw, just because of the construction of the lineup.
They've got Broxton on the lineup on the roster as well, and they'll put him in against lefties, I would assume.
Yeah.
I know they did that the other night, but yeah, it's a good stack. I really like it.
Same. And I don't have any real interest in going to the Reds. To the Mariners we go. Mariners and Astros. Mariners, I think, 4-run implied total. Astros 5. we might not even have the same pitcher in this game. 60% chance to win for the Astros. By all accounts, it's Dallas Keuchel going for Houston. Betting sites have undecided as the starter. It's not listed on Fantasy Crabs, but I've got it in as Mike Leake. What have you seen?
No, it's not Mike Leake. He pitched last night.
Okay. Well, thanks, Fangraphs.
No, it's Fangraphs had it. DK had it yesterday, and I was doing the night shift, so you're not alone.
Is it Elias now? Probably.
It looks like it would be Elias's turn. Looking at the pitch usage, I'm on the same thing you are right now. Either that or they just go straight bullpen game, but their bullpen's not like super rested. Matthew Festa looks like he could go probably a couple innings, but everyone else that's kind of a long reliever, they don't really have one. So yeah, it's got to be Elias, unless they're going to roll Erasmo on short rest. No, there's no way.
We got some lines now too. Boston and New York, 8.5 shaded to the over. I think that'll get to 9, and that'll be right where we had it. Toronto and Baltimore, 9.5. That is a full run higher than what we had it, or what I had it in as. I already liked the Blue Jays and Orioles lineup. I'm going to like it even more, and that'll allow me to like Estrada just a little bit less. Sure. Does it matter to you who the pitcher is for the Mariners?
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to see if it's a righty or lefty. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Have we had this all year where we don't know, like we don't have any idea who's starting?
I think we're just getting to that point of the year where it could be anybody. It could be nobody in theory. I mean, so the Mariners they have no chance to make the playoffs. So, they're probably not in any hurry to let you know that whatever other asshole could be pitching for them is pitching.
Right.
Do you like Keuchel?
I mean, just strictly as a pivot, but he's not a high upside guy, so I usually don't like playing him. I really like Nelson Cruz and Haniger against him. So those are going to be two guys I have healthy amounts of and probably over the field. But Keuchel's just never someone I'm scared of fading. I thought he would have more ownership here.
Yeah, so it's a really weird spot. I guess all of the potential ownership for Keuchel is just going to Chris Archer.
Sure. Yeah.
I would like to have some, but I don't know. That's a sea of righties that are really scary.
Yeah, that's true.
Haniger. I mean, Segura isn't scary, but he's still good. Cruz, terrifying. Healy, terrifying. Zunino, terrifying. Jake, not in the call anymore. I assume he accidentally closed the window, but he'll come right back in, I assume. Look, I haven't talked in forever. I mumbled and stumbled through NFL content on Sunday, but I'm just happy to talk. So you guys can get me rambling for a bit. Chris Hernandez in the chat. Thank you. Everybody, thank you for all the welcome back kind words. I'm happy to be back. I like the Astros a little bit here. If it's Elias in particular, just that sea of righties at the top. I'll have a lot of Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Marwin, Gurriel, Correa. What's Jake saying? Jake can't hear anything. Jake's not in this anymore. Let him know. Probably why he can't hear anything. He's gonna find out that he accidentally closed that tab. I'm positive of it. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Astros bats. I think it's a really nice spot, especially if it's Elias. This line, I'm pretty sure is still not out. Yeah, no, that's the only one that hasn't come out yet. Here comes Jake. There goes Jake. Here comes Jake. There's Jake.
I didn't do a thing. It just...
I just assumed you closed the tab.
No, I didn't.
Well, welcome back. I was just talking about how I didn't really care for your mini-max win. I'm just kidding. I was just talking about Astros bats and how I'll like them 1-6, especially if it's Elias.
If it is Elias, then yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay. Mariners bats. I'd like them. I don't like them as a stack, but I like them as, one-off or two-man combos.
Yeah, I agree.
Try to catch a Cruz, a Healy, Haniger home run.
Yeah, 5-2-1. I like them as the 2 or the 1, especially Cruz and Haniger.
Agreed. Same page there, man.
Yeah.
Anything else here? I assume that you like 1 through 6 for the Astros lineup if it's Elias.
Yeah, agreed. For this next game, do you want to talk quick? I'm going to go check something downstairs.
Yeah, man. Take your time.
I'll be back.
While Jake goes to poop, I'll talk about the Giants and Padres. Giants 3.3 run implied total. Padres 3.9. The 58% chance to win for the Padres. Chris Stratton going for San Francisco. Robbie Erlin going for San Diego. No expected ownership for Stratton, which I think is a little interesting. I end up getting Stratton way more than I should. Let's look at his recent history. Yeah. Oh my God. Coming off the 40 burger. Complete game 2-hitter. 31 points in a start a month ago. I'll probably want to have a little bit of Stratton, but 8,400 is a tough price point. I have him in 4% of my lines right now. That seems like a reasonable spot. He's just too expensive. Erlin, however, I think is in the most interesting spot of the day. And apparently the public does too. 37% expected ownership. I was hoping that I was just wildly above the field. But it looks like he's going to be chalk as well. I don't love the idea of 40% Robbie Erlin. That just seems like you're going to get let down more often than not. But I don't think you can go to Covey and Estrada now, if that total is 9.5, is going to be a pretty tough sell for me. So I think that naturally I'll hedge out of Erlin and try to get a little bit more Philmeyer. And by a little bit more, I mean any, just to trim that Erlin. And I think being able to get to more Geo will be my big priority in keeping my price point down. It's just going to be hard with so many shares of Carrasco and Buehler who we haven't gotten to yet. But I like Erlin. I mean, it's hard to not like a guy in Petco against this Giants lineup that is, a shell of its former self. Especially Erlin being the lefty. So, you get to sort of knock Belt out of there. I hear Jake. Anyway,
What up?
We're talking Robbie Erlin.
All right. Yeah. Where are you at on Erlin?
So I got 48% of him on my first crunch, which is ahead of the public. But I mean, I'm going to have a hard time going over 40% Robbie Erlin today. Yeah, I didn't realize Chris Stratton had a 40-point game in his last start.
Yeah. That was ridiculous. It just goes to show how bad Colorado is against righties outside of Coors.
Chris Stratton, 40-point game against Colorado on September 14th, $6,200 price point. Today, Chris Stratton, $8,400. Womp womp. Can't really play him. I'll have him in a couple lines just because. But not a guy I'm prioritizing. What are you going to do with Erlin at this ownership?
Not get to 40%. That's for sure.
I agree.
He's fine, but so I think it's a fine matchup, and he's got a chance to go 90 plus pitches here.
Yeah.
So I understand it, but I don't see why he would be so much higher owned than like Philmeyer or Estrada or Yacobonis for that matter. Like he's not that much better of a play than those other guys. So if the ownership evens out, I'll have probably closer to the field on Erlin, like if he's 20%. But I just don't see a need to play him at 30 plus.
I agree. It's making me want to look deeper into Philmeyer more and more.
Yeah.
If Philmeyer is going to be 0, like you could plug Philmeyer in for 10% and save yourself some exposure. Bats in this game. You won't get to Stratton, correct?
No.
Okay. Sean V says Stratton worked on something when he got sent down because he's a different pitcher since coming back up. Stay tuned. Adam and I can get into that in an hour.
Let's see. Let's see if you can see anything right away. I mean, it doesn't. He's certainly not getting more swinging strikes or chases, really. I mean, yeah, he looks like the exact same guy. But maybe he changed something. I don't know.
What do you think about Giants bats here on the opposite side of that Erlin ownership?
Longoria and Hundley, I like quite a bit as leverage, but
I think that I would rather just play less Robbie Erlin than stack against him.
yeah, I don't think you need to stack against him. But Erlin's the guy that I think, unlike Carrasco, like Erlin's not a big strikeout guy. He needs to prevent runs in order to pay off, even for 4,600. And like if you catch that solo or two-run shot off of him, that could bury Robbie Erlin owners, and then you don't have to commit to a full stack against him.
Agreed. What do you think of Padres bats? 9% expected ownership on DK. I don't understand. 20% Will Myers, 18% Hunter Renfroe, 22% Franmil Reyes. What are we missing here?
Wow. I thought it was going to be kind of contrarian. I mean, Stratton does have issues against righties with hard contact. So I liked Will Myers a lot for 3,900 dual position eligibility, and Reyes actually for 3,100. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to be super popular, is it just their pricing? It's got to be, right?
I mean, Will Myers is 3,900. That's cheap, but it's not like outlandish. Hunter Renfroe 3,800. Like that's cheap, but it's not. I don't know. In San Diego, I don't want any part of 20% owned anybody in Petco. At least certainly not on the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20% is kind of outrageous for most hitters for a 10-game slate. But like no platoon split. I get that Stratton's worse against righties, but there's no way we see this at lower stakes. Like in the minimax, I don't see how Myers and Renfroe or Reyes are above like 12%.
Yeah, I would agree. Anything else on this game, or do you want to move on?
No, that's about it.
Cubs and Diamondbacks. Cubs 3.9 run implied total. D-backs 4.1. A 52% chance to win for the Diamondbacks. Cole Hamels going for Chicago. Robbie Ray going for Arizona. Ray, little popular, 12% expected ownership on DK. I have a very similar amount. I'm starting to feel like I want to get to more. I just don't really know where I would pull that from and how I would pay for it. What do you think about both guys here? Hamels not projected to get any ownership on DraftKings, 9,600. I feel like that's probably a bit of a miss. What do you think about Hamels and Ray?
I mean, I kind of have interest in both of them. I think they can both rack up a decent amount of strikeouts here. And these guys also both get hit hard by righties, especially. So there's kind of a case to play both sides. They're kind of at price tags where they're not that appealing, similar to Severino and David Price. So I don't really know what I want to do with this game. I think right now I lean towards taking some bats against Ray. Last night I was more on the taking bats against Hamels. I mean, are you making a big stance on this game? I think is the question, because I don't think I will be on either side.
I think I'm making a big stance in that I'm not going to it. 8% aggregate ownership for the Diamondbacks right now. I only have one. We've got Steven Souza at 20%, AJ Pollock 14%, Eduardo Escobar 12%. These are guys that I'm just not really getting to on DraftKings. I have a little bit more on FanDuel. Cubs kind of popular on FanDuel. I'm not really there. This is more of a stay away for me than anything else.
I mean, I like Pollock, Escobar, Goldschmidt, so I like 1, 2, 3, but it's just like, why would you want to trot out a full stack against Hamels, who's been really, really good since coming over to the Cubs?
Yeah, I don't see the reason.
Yeah.
Outside of just liking the ballpark.
But is it that great of a ballpark?
Nothing crazy.
That humidor is knocking down everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't have anything that stands out here. Steven Souza on FanDuel at 2,300, I think, is the best play of the day. Not of this game, rather.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if I have the money, I'm going to try to get up to Chris Bryant. I'm going to try to get up to Javi Baez. I think the Cubs are going to be really, really underowned on this slate because of their prices. And and most likely they're not going to go off here, but Ray does give up power when he gives up contact. So
yeah,
you've got a bunch of good Cubs hitters. And he does give up power to both sides. Like, so Rizzo, who can obviously hit lefties, I think makes for a pretty nice filler at only 4,300.
Yeah. I don't think he'll have too much ownership either, so it's an interesting play. 2 games left. Angels and A's. Angels rather. 4-run implied total. A's 4.5. It's a 55% chance to win for the A's. Felix Pena going for the Angels. Brett Anderson going for the A's. Brett Anderson, $5,400 on DK. Not expected to have any ownership. Not really a guy that I want to go to. Felix Pena, $8,000 on DraftKings. I would have had some interest, but I think that price point is too high. Are you going to get any pitching in this game?
No, I don't think I'll get to Pena. I like to stack against Pena. I think he's a good pitcher, and he's going to be good, especially to righties, but he does give up hard hits to both sides. And this A's team has just been really, really tough over the last 2 or 3 months. And Olsen and Lowry, I love here. Absolutely love both of those guys. 3,900 for Lowry, 43 for Olsen. And then the rest of the guys are cheap too. And the Angels have a bottom 10 bullpen as far as XFIP over the last 30 days. So I'll play Chapman and Chris Davis at what I think is a little bit of an underprice. Yeah, I mean, do you have any interest in Pena here? Are you getting to him at all?
No, he's impossible to get to at 8,000.
It's a good pitcher's park. So
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, I understand why someone would want to get to Pena as a Archer pivot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't decided if I'm going to X him out or not. It's obviously hours away. So once I start running crunches, I'll have a better idea. But he's good. I mean, he can strike out righties. We've seen that in a big way as of late. So if they roll out a bunch of righties against him, I think there's some appeal.
Sean V having the AOL email address is so on brand. I love it. It makes me I'm so happy to be back. Yeah, I get the idea of wanting to go to trying to get a little bit of Pena just because of the ballpark, but I doubt he'll pop up at all for me. And really, I don't want much from a bats perspective in this game. You know, I don't like either side of this from a full stack perspective.
I like the full stack on the Angels side. Anderson's not a guy I really pick on that much, especially in Oakland. Are you getting to any Anderson? Can you see yourself getting there?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Just a lot of Trout.
A lot of Trout, yeah.
Hot take.
That's always
hot take alert.
Trout. Always Trout, yeah.
Final game. Rockies and Dodgers. Rockies 3-run implied total. Dodgers 4.5. It's a 67% chance to win for the Dodgers. Tyler Anderson going for Colorado. Walker Buehler going for LA. Walker Buehler, 17% expected ownership on DK. I got half of that, but I feel like I'm missing something here, and I should like Buehler significantly more. Rockies just absolutely atrocious outside of Colorado. Buehler, big-time stuff. I'm a little nervous about being at half the field right now for Buehler. Did you do any deep dive into Buehler? What do you think?
He's coming off a really, really good start, and you're getting Colorado against a righty outside of Coors. So it's a good spot for sure, but I don't really see him having another ceiling game, whereas I could see Carrasco having a ceiling game. Buehler's not someone that misses a ton of bats. He is a very, very good pitcher. So don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a fine pivot if you think that Carrasco is going to falter. And I'll probably have some ownership to him, but I don't think it'll be 17%. So no, yeah. I'm not taking bets against him. I don't think it's necessary to do that in this park, but
agreed.
Yeah.
What do you think about Dodgers bats? Because I have a ton of them on FanDuel, and I'm double the field on DK. A lot of that going to Machado. Not that I'm upset about it.
Yeah, Machado, I think, sticks out as probably the best play on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think what I'm going to do, I'm not telling anyone else what to do, is either full stack or nothing, because Anderson has actually pitched against them really well in LA. In Coors, it's been a completely different story. He's gotten abbreviated starts twice in Coors against the Dodgers. In LA, 8 innings, 8 strikeouts in June, and then in early August, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. This will be the 5th time he's faced them. Just faced them 2 starts ago as well. So that's a little bit tough. I mean, anytime, like, they know his stuff by now. He hasn't changed much at all. He's been really good, but they should kind of know what's coming. 4 games is a solid sample size of scouting report. And they're just so deep. So what do we have Anderson projected at?
4%.
Right, 4%. I mean, I'd probably match that and just call it good.
Yeah.
I think I'm more likely to have Dodgers bats. They're just so good and so deep.
Yep. Same page. I want to have a bunch of Dodgers.
Yeah.
That'll be my spot. Alrighty. I think that is it. So let's take a look at some stacks for the first time in a while.
Screen share?
Working on it. I wasn't working on it. Alrighty. Indian stack with Carrasco, right?
Yeah.
Roberto Perez, Jose Ramirez, Josh Donaldson, Lindor, and Brantley.
Okay.
Most of these are probably going to have Roberto Perez, if I had to guess.
How much is he? 28? Okay.
Trying to find another one.
There's your Orioles one. I missed that.
Right here. Yeah, those Orioles stacks are going to go away once I mute Chris Davis. Where are you at, Indians? Yeah, another Perez, Ramirez, Donaldson, Lindor, Melky.
I like that number 51. Go to number 51.
Blue Jays, Yelich, Moustakas, Gary Sanchez. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's a really nice line.
Yeah. Blue Jays, I think, I'm going to end up with a lot of Blue Jays, I think.
Same. Yeah, another Roberto Perez. So you can get most of the good Indians with him.
Yeah.
But I think you have to bring Perez along for the ride. Or, take a different punt catcher, but seems like a tough play.
Mm.
All right, let's look and see what some of these Blue Jays stacks could look like. A lot of Carrasco, Carrasco Archer. Man, I even like that still. Blue Jay stack. You have to take Eric Kratz and Lorenzo Cain, and you got a one-off Stanton. So, man, I hate catcher.
Yeah, there's Sanchez, but he's going up against Price. I mean,
Cervelli. I think those are the only 2 real good options.
Like, if Grandal's not in too, it's just, that's tough. Jeff Mathis.
God,
Wilson Contreras is a pretty good option, I think, against Ray.
All right. Do you want to look at any other teams? See what the construction looks like?
Let's do like a Red Sox or Yankees stack. You have.
I've got a bunch of Yankees.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
Just want to see what that looks like.
Lots more Carrasco and Erlin. Surprise, surprise.
So you could get Carrasco Estrada. You could get Carrasco Feldmeyer if you get a little creative.
Yep.
Yeah, man, this is.
I mean, if you really want to bet bats, Archer, Erlin, Sanchez, Andahar, Judge Stanton, McCutchen, Lindor, Jose Ramirez, Kendry Morales.
That's crazy. I mean, there's literally everyone has a chance to hit a home run in that lineup. Like, a reasonable chance.
Lindor, Jose Ramirez, Moose Tacos, Archer, and Erlin.
Pretty good.
Bryant, Baez, Morales. Yeah. Ooh. Archer, Tyler Anderson with Bregman, Altuve, and noted slugger Chris Davis. Good God. Guys, it's good to be back. I think we're done here. I don't have anything else to add. The slate is, well, it's a bit unappealing.
It is. It is unappealing, but there's always preseason NHL DFS.
That's true.
So go join the contests so they get bigger.
Do we have anything to plug right now? I'm a little out of the loop.
Lineup builder. You should click over to that quick.
That's a good idea.
I just think, I don't know, we should use that more often because we have people that watch that like to hand build. So just kind of show them how it works a little bit. And you just kind of get all the information all in one spot, which is really nice. So once the rankings update, then you can click through and it'll give you a GPA.
Yeah.
So like for the early slate, if you want to make a lineup, you can get its rankings, projected ownership, and one more thing. I can't remember what it is. But anyways, it's really, really useful for hand building.
Yeah, let's hand build an early slate lineup right now. Oh boy, pitching's good. I'm going to name the 6 starting pitchers: Jack Flaherty, Touki Toussaint, Gabriel Moya, Spencer Turnbull, Diego Castillo, so Yarborough, I think, Yohander Mendez. Holy shit.
This early slate's pretty bad.
Mendez getting some gas, 41%.
Wow.
So it's got to be Flaherty, right?
I think I'd probably go with Flaherty, yeah.
Let's build a cash lineup. Flaherty, Mendez. I mean, it's gotta be some Twins bats, I guess.
I would go Castellanos. I would get Castellanos in there.
Okay.
I mean, Christian Stewart, he's a lefty. They're probably going to see a lefty at some point, but
lefty, yeah, that's true. I mean, VMart at 3,000. I'm gonna take my chances there.
27% more chalky than average. Yes. Yeah, so
we're getting there. I think I'm gonna stick with a Tiger stack here now.
All right, let's do it. Let's make a GPP lineup.
We'll go Candelario, VMart, Castellanos, Ronnie Rodriguez, I guess. Or would you prefer Christian Stewart? Very little ownership did.
Christian Stewart, yeah. Okay. Good differentiator.
You want to do 5-2-1?
Yeah, let's do 5-2-1.
I'll leave the 5th spot out because we've got catcher, second base, shortstop option. We have both of those spots open. We have an outfield spot open. So let's find a 2 that we like.
Let's go to. Do we have any? So that the lineup's not out for Tampa Bay, but
no,
we should try to get in.
We've got Mendez in.
Okay, go up to.
We can grab Braves. Texas. Go up to the Braves.
Texas. Let's go Texas. Okay. Good hitting weather.
Got
about 4,500 per player.
Yeah.
So we got some.
We got wiggle room.
So I would put in, if it's going to be Yarbrough, I like Odor lefty.
Okay.
He's 38%.
That's
Same
fine.
thing, kind of with Chu.
Let's do that. We'll grab James McCann to finish off our Detroit stack, and now we need a shortstop.
All right. So we got
DeJong.
Yeah, I like that it blanks guys out for you too. That's really helpful.
So we got $2,100 left. I think we can make some adjustments. But this is a spot where I would not want to have $2,100 remaining in this lineup.
Well, I mean, you could switch Mendez and, you could.
And go to who? Spencer Turnbull?
I don't even know anything about Turnbull. But
neither do I.
they get the idea.
Yeah. I like it, though.
Yeah, so the
Once
grades will pop
rankings
up.
are out, you'll get a GPA. As you can see, X's aren't going to calculate a GPA because we don't have any letter grades yet. The rankings should be out shortly for the early slate.
Yeah, people. So go use that. Go try that out. It's on the Osmo homepage. We will have it for other sports. We have it for NFL already. So if you hand build NFL lineups, you can export them right there, and it downloads downloads them into the correct format. You upload your CSV. You can download a bunch at the same time. So it's kind of like a fantasy cruncher, but you're just getting the hand building touch. So
yeah, you can just keep building new lineup, and then export. Great for people that aren't necessarily playing 150 at a time. If you're doing like 3 max and 5 max, I think this is a really good tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out. Use it more if you are part of Osmo.com. And if you're not, I mean, really, what are you waiting for? We've got way too much stuff. Chris Hernandez, this is the game changer once I figure it out. I agree.
It's pretty easy to figure out. Just play around with it for
you can't break it.
Yeah. FanDuel NFL projections are out.
Yes, they are.
Barons. They are very good. I use them. So
do I.
Yeah. What else? What else we have?
Process show coming up at 11 o'clock. Myself and Adam will have From A to B this afternoon. Andrew and Ben. Deeper dive tonight with Lofty and Adam. And then live stream tonight. Jake, if you don't want it, I'll take it. If you do want it, whatever. We haven't really talked about that, so we could probably talk about it off air. Alrighty. I think that's it. Check out Osmo.com. Check out all the content that we're churning out right now. Play with the lineup builder. I don't know if we have anything else to plug. But out of the loop for too long. I'm rusty.
No, you're good.
Alrighty. Well, best of luck, everybody. It's great to be back. You're going to get a ton of me in the near future. So gear up. I'll talk to you again later today. Bye.